Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, guys. We're going to get into it in just a second. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Hit the thumbs up, set your notifications. Good morning, everybody. How are you? Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is early. A couple of things. I'm going to be over at Kathy's on Gossip Rumor Innuendo this morning. So make sure to join me over there and let's get into it. Let's see. Let me pull up this video real quick. Guys, we're going to run this intro and I'll be back in just a second. Hey guys, good morning. Okay, let's get into this real quick. Let's check this out. This happened yesterday. Some of you may or may not have heard what happened yesterday afternoon, or yesterday morning, rather, when this was occurring in Macomb County. This is actually Eastpointe. It's a suburb of Detroit, a different county, Macomb County. Anyway, Afeni Muhammad was in court yesterday, and the family of Jennifer Harris, there was some drama in the courthouse. They started showing a video, the McDonald'S video of the altercation between Afeni and Jennifer. And they said what's been reported, went and got a knife and tried to come back into the courthouse. So the judge cleared the entire courtroom, and only the media was allowed, and obviously court personnel. The family unfortunately was not able to watch anymore, because I guess, um,
people from
security
the
risk.
media,
So they
victim
cleared the
advocate,
courtroom.
in the courtroom.
There were
Myself,
no
Mr. Urban,
spectators allowed, including the
public
family,
defender's
only
office, and
court
some cameras
personnel, the
from the
attorneys,
account, and court
and
dispatch.
security. And that
Francoise
was it.
testified
So
before
this
you.
is like the second half of the hearing. The first half of the hearing, they had several witnesses, which, if you've watched the news, they've shown those witnesses, and we'll get into those a little later. I just wanted to show this part of the hearing first, and then maybe later on, after I go over to Gossip Rumor Innuendo, we can take a look at some of the drama that happened yesterday, also some of the additional video. The interesting thing about this particular hearing is that they showed some video of Afeni's police interrogation, which isn't very good. Well, it's not very good for it's not very good for her, let's put it that way. So told a lot of she dropped a lot of information about the why, and she reenacted what happened, and then the judge made a decision to bind it over, obviously, to the circuit court. I mean, there was plenty of information for them to know that, there's video, there's eyewitness accounts, there's everything. Anyway, let's get into this. Like I said, I'm going to be over at Kathy's at 10. So we're going to, let's take a look at this. If you want to see this uninterrupted, I did post it uninterrupted. So, you can get that uninterrupted, but, we might talk through this a little bit.
I do, yeah.
Put your hand down.
This is the lead detective.
State your name for the record.
Detective Lieutenant Alexander Hollish, Alexander Common, Holise.
Thank you. You may proceed.
Thanks, Judge. Where do you work, sir?
Eastpointe Police Department.
How long do you work there?
About 18 years now.
And what's your current rank and duties?
Currently, I'm a detective lieutenant. I'm in charge of investigative division for the department.
What were your duties on or about July 10th of 2025?
I was in the same capacity as a detective lieutenant.
And at some point in time, did you get contacted to conduct an interview with a suspect?
I was about, by then it was probably shortly after 8 a.m.
And at that point in time, what did you do?
I made contact with Ms. Mohammed, who was in the booking room.
And when you say Ms. Mohammed, do you see Afeni Mohammed in the courtroom today?
I do.
And could you identify her for us, please?
She's sitting to the left of me, far left. She's wearing a jumpsuit issued by Macomb County Jail. Her hair is different since, but at the time she had red hair, but I do recognize.
He said her hair is different. So I don't know what happened to her wig. Some of you guys have said, like, oh, did they make her get rid of the wig? I don't know. The wig may have just exited the chat. I mean, she's been in jail now since July, and 4 months and a synthetic wig in a county jail, I'm sure is not pretty.
Facial features.
Okay.
Let the record reflect that Lieutenant Hollish has identified the defendant.
So noted for the record.
So where did your interactions take place with the defendant?
First, she was in a booking room, and she was wearing a like a hooded jacket that I observed had blood on it. So I asked her to remove the jacket. And after that, I had to call a female officer from St. Clair Shores because we did not have a female officer working at the time. She walked to the private area where female officer from St. Clair Shores observed her take off the clothing that we took as evidence and gave her our jail clothing.
And after that, what happened?
After that, I spoke with her at our interview room.
Tell me a little bit about that interview room.
It's a small room. It's pretty much table, 3 chairs. Detective May, he's my partner. He joined me during the interview. It's equipped with a camera and microphone. There's a small filing cabinet, and that's it.
And before interacting with her, as far as talking about things, was there anything that you did first?
I observed dried blood on her hands, and I asked her if I could collect it. Detective May read Ms. Mohammed her rights as far as the right for us. If she would waive her search rights, technically it's a search. She agreed. She signed the form. I used the distilled water and the cotton swabs to collect dry blood from each of her hands.
And as far as her rights that were given to her by Detective May, were you there at the time that occurred?
I was.
May I approach, Your Honor?
You may.
Sure. Yes. Approaching with people's proposed exhibit, I believe it's 6.
That's constitutional rights, sir.
Yes.
First, she was giving the form rights to search. That's what we talked about, not this right.
Correct. But those.
That's eventually, technically, did give constitutional rights to Afeni as well. But I'm talking about to collect the blood. It was a consent to search form.
I understand. And as far as the form here, when did this take place?
Right after I collected blood, the dry blood, what appears to be dry blood, Detective May read Ms. Mohammed her constitutional rights directly from the form. She initialed next to each right. She signed the form. I see my signature on it, and I see Detective May's signature, recognize his signature on it as well.
Is it dated?
Yeah.
What's it dated?
7/10/25. At this point, it's 8:56 a.m.
Does that accurately reflect the document that with the constitutional rights that she was given by you and Detective May, and which everyone signed?
That's right. It's a copy of it, actually, but yes.
Okay. And during this period of time, while she was being given her constitutional rights, are there things that you look to when you're giving rights to determine if someone is intoxicated?
Well, we asked how far she went to school. She said she graduated high school. She stated she could read and write. She indicated she was not intoxicated. She was not on any drugs or alcohol. I asked her how much she got sleep the night before. She said at least 8 hours. She did indicate that she slept in her vehicle because she was currently homeless, but she said she's been doing it for a while now, staying out of her car. So that was a conversation.
Any concerns that you wouldn't be able to have a proper interview with her?
She appeared lucid. I did not see any signs of intoxication or anything like that. So I believe she was okay to talk to me.
Before I move to Exhibit 6, I just want to hand over things to Josh Jones in case he wants to voir dire on voluntariness.
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Okay, then people move to admit Exhibit 6.
Number 6 will be admitted.
Thank you, Judge. Tell me a little bit more. After the rights are signed, what's the next step for you in that interview with Detective May?
Usually we ask a question of what happened. I believe Detective May asked if she knew who Jennifer Harris was, and she stated she did.
Was this a recorded interview?
That's correct.
Have you reviewed it prior to today?
I did.
And does it accurately reflect the interview that you had with the defendant on July 10th of this year?
The video that I reviewed, that was attached to evidence.com, yes, that's an interview. I assume that's what you're going to play, but for me to certify it, I would have to see it.
Okay. One moment. We're about to put up on the screen proposed Exhibit 7, Judge. Now, sir, do you recognize the still of this?
Yeah, it's an interview room. That's me in a blue shirt. Detective May is in a gray t-shirt with a baseball hat on, and Ms. Muhammad, she's wearing our jail uniform, and at the time I told you she had a different hair, it was right in color.
People move to admit Exhibit 7, Judge.
Defense,
Objection.
be admitted by stipulation.
Thank you.
Be published to the court.
Yes, thank you. We're going to start at 3 minutes and 42 seconds.
Is the volume up on the TV? I'm not sure.
Yes.
One moment. Nope.
Just the audio.
Okay, there's rights that you have. These protect you. They also protect myself and protect college. This is called the Eastpointe Constitutional Rights Certificate of Notification. I am going to be reading your rights 1 through 5. Okay. And when I read these rights to you, I need you to verbally say, I'm going to ask you, do you understand your rights? I don't want you to do this. Just say yes. And don't be nervous. Don't just say yes or no. Okay. We're going to do this. I promise. Okay. All right. Okay. Number 1, I have a right to remain silent, and that I do not have to answer any questions, put to me, or make any statements. You understand? Okay. Number 2, any statement I make or anything I say can and will be used against me in a court of law. Okay. Number 3, I have a right to have an attorney, lawyer present before I answer any questions or make any statements. Understand? Okay. Number 4, if I cannot afford an attorney, lawyer, one will be appointed for me by the court prior to any questions. Understand? Number 5, I can decide at any time to exercise my rights and not answer any questions or make any statements. Okay. So what I need you to do, I'm going to have you sign this, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just put your initials. All right, I'll let you sign it. Thank you. Oh, shit. Oh, let's do that. For Travis level education. Let's switch though. Where'd you go to high school at?
From high school and like somewhere around the, like,
So you have your high school diploma, right?
yeah, it was actually in my folded inside of my desk where it was his phone. And I taped it on the phone.
Okay. So you know how to read, write, spell, all that. Smart girl, aren't you? Smart. What'd you know? What's your favorite class?
I like Italian, because I like writing American language. You know, I really Italian.
Little. That's all we got. Okay, we're gonna get down to business. How hard is it gonna be? It's gonna be. Okay. Where do you work?
I work. I mean, also.
Was it located in Eastpointe? Prescription medication.
Yeah.
How many hours?
I don't think that like, 8 months.
Okay, about 8 hours. Okay. Where did you sleep?
I, slept in the shop because I didn't have enough money for hotel. You know,
What do you do at McDonald's? Are you a
I,
cook or?
I prep food and then also I'm basically customer service. Perform excellent customer service.
Okay. Where are you working today?
I work
What time do you start?
at 4 a.m.
4 a.m.?
I clock in at 4:02 a.m.
Who is your manager there, or who is in charge of you?
Today was Jennifer.
Jennifer Harris?
Yes.
Okay, do you have any sort of issues with Jennifer Harris?
I had an issue with how I had to clock out 3 times in a row just because she was bringing me no reason to be out. And she clocked me out without knowing. I was working for 3
Was this today, or was this prior?
hours a day.
Okay, so has any time prior to this day today, did she make you clock out or not? How many times?
It happened just missed the very time this week.
Third time this week? And can you tell me why do you think she's doing that?
I think she was doing that because I had spoke up to her and I felt like, trying to figure out, I think it was sometime last week, it was like Friday, I'm not sure, but it was, I had told her, that racist shit gonna stop, that's why I had told her, because I got tired of how she kept on like, acting like prejudice for like, the other two, like, the families that work there also, it was called issues, they were just.
So let me ask you this, can you tell me what kind of racist comments that she's making towards you or anyone? Give me an example.
Yeah, like, so sometimes when they look at their phones or something, and like, it was one time, the guy behind his shoulder, on her phone, like a Caucasian girl, she had like on fire or something. And she was like, that's can you write B? And that's what she had said, and, you know, and then every time.
So saying like B, so B meaning bitch, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Has she ever used any derogatory remarks towards you that, give me an example of what she was
She
like?
said that she was blood one time to me, and she said she wanted her gun her children, but it just like made me feel like I got like scared of her, and, but she's a really kind person.
Did she say anything racist to you today?
No, she didn't say anything to me, that, the only thing she said to me was, you can fuck out now, and then I was like, I'm working my shit, like, you know, I didn't do anything wrong.
Did you leave after she told you that?
No, I stayed, I started working my shift, so I stayed there, I just kept working, nobody came over there to relieve me, so I just continued to catch everybody else, you know, then I just happened to look at the app and see that I actually clocked out. I didn't know she clocked out at 6, and I didn't even know I was still working. And then when I had said, I didn't know you clocked out, you didn't even tell me that I'm done talking to you, I didn't know you leave.
So what did you do after that? Did you leave?
Yeah, I left, I said, this is wrong, I said, you keep telling me this is wrong.
Where did you go?
I went to the shopping center, I drove, went to the state park, stayed a little bit.
Okay, so,
It was after I left, I like,
so how long you were, agreed to that?
I worked it 1 hour.
Oh, okay. So she left you out at 6, you said, and
Yeah.
you don't want to go down 7?
Yeah,
All right.
I was on 2 o'clock.
You have to gate her.
Yes, and then after that, that's when I just started listening to my music and I started prayer. And I started thinking about like how she, everything that she was doing that was wrong.
Did that piss you off? Okay, so at some point you returned to the McDonald's's, right? Okay. What did you have? How did you injure?
I had a knife and I walked with her and I stepped with her.
How many times? Do you remember? Where'd you stab her at?
Her neck area.
Did you want to kill her?
It's not good to say that.
I can't hear the
That's how you
response.
felt.
Can you play that back, please?
How many knives did you have?
Area.
Did you want to kill her?
It's not good to say that. That's
That's how you felt. How many knives did you have on you? Can you describe the knife that you stabbed her with? Well, explain what a French knife.
It's a sharp knife, like
Is it long? Okay. Did you walk up behind her? Did you guys argue? Did you just walk up to her? Show me how you did it. You walked up to her and you just started doing what? Show me how you did it. You can stand up. It's okay. So if I'm Jennifer, so.
Okay, so I had wrapped in my shirt.
What color?
I had wrapped in my shirt.
That's a shirt. Is that the one I had on? And then so I'm Jennifer and you have the knife in your hand. I need you to show me how you do that. What did you do with like this? Show? It's okay. Did you start doing this?
Yeah.
Okay. Do it where on my body. So it's okay. Don't worry about it. Okay.
She turned around and then
Did you get up? Did you stab her on the stomach? Or just that?
Okay, let's stop right there. So it was revealed in the testimony that she stabbed Jennifer. I feel like it was either 23 or 32. Okay. Hey, good morning. Hey, Miss Fine. Hey, good morning, MTGV. How are you? Thanks for dropping in, hun. Good morning, good morning, good morning, guys. Is this not crazy? This is insane. So let's just see her reenact this again real quick. This is,
It's okay.
look at her eyes.
It's okay. Did you start doing this?
Yeah.
Okay. Do it where on my body. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Okay.
she turned around.
And then she turned her, and then in the chest. I don't know if she got her in the heart. I'm sure we'll find out as time goes on, but she stabbed her right, probably severing her carotid artery, which is a main artery from your heart up to your brain. So it's just bad news from there. And if she stabbed her in her chest, she might have gotten to her heart. She definitely intended to kill her.
I don't know. I might have.
So you mentioned somebody, you heard a gunshot.
That's why I started doing, say, hey, ow. And then I hear up, actually got that shot. And so I get up, and I hear, I'm just like, I get behind like this prayer rack. And then I'm like, I'll get it by short. And then I'm back and out, turn around and go. Yeah, that's why I'm going to turn around. And then I was like, she's putting me, she's putting me. Turn around. And then turn around.
So the blood on your hand, it was.
It came from the jacket, but I took it off.
You think it's the blood?
Yeah, I believe it was because I didn't get shot.
Right. Where did you get the knife? Was it?
I had brought some woman. I had done a cake. I was going to bring here, but I'm never sorry.
When did you buy it?
I brought it when I brought the cake yesterday.
Oh. And you wasn't at the moment?
I'm wondering,
Has this lady, has she been bullying you for a while, or is this just a 1 or 2 or 3 times?
she's been bullying for a while.
Does she do that sort of employee?
She has been bullying, it was one of the girls she recently stopped messing with, because now I guess I turned out to be what she wants to bully, but she has been bullying for a very long time.
How did you,
She played her little gangster music and there, she don't like classical music, she doesn't for me. Cause I'm not like her, and she's like, she was always saying comments like, I know we all supposed to look out for each other, saying can't cover her, and then she was saying to like other coworkers, and then the day before yesterday, she talked about me to like the other coworkers, she was like, pissing me off because it was, sometimes customers hold me up at the window and it like take a long time and they hold the time up and they start like yelling at me, but it's like sometimes I can't rush the customer, I think they're looking for their money, so.
well, just so that I could get like an idea of where your headspace was, when you were stabbing her, well, how did that make you feel?
I can be honest,
Yes,
because I'm wrong.
yes, yes.
Okay, I felt that it was close to him because I felt like I feel like she had like people under oppression who wasn't out to be free, she was going to be there. So that's how I felt when I was thinking. And I told him because if that's what I'm supposed to get, and that's what I'm, and if somebody want to take me down, then I would do my best to fight in this situation.
What about now? Do you feel remorseful?
So like you said, like,
Do you feel bad about it, remorseful that you did it, or you feel
I don't
relieved?
feel like,
You feel relieved that you did it?
I feel better.
Feel better?
Yeah, but I'm not a cold person, that's why I sound crazy to understand that.
She said she feels better, y'all. She said that this black woman was keeping other black women down, even though she's a shift leader at McDonald's and her job is to probably manage about 20 people, maybe 10 to 20, from stocking materials, making food, packing meals, entertaining customers, making sure the restaurant is clean. That's a big job. And so she felt like she didn't like the way Jennifer was managing. Jennifer sent her home because Jennifer, the word was is that Afeni was not a good worker. And so she felt like she was being bullied, but she was being managed because maybe she wasn't really cut out for that job. Anyway, after stabbing her at least 23 times, it's revealed that now she says she feels better, but she's not a cold person. She says, I know it sounds crazy, but I fought my best fight. Just listen again.
And I told him because if that's what I'm supposed to get, and that's what I'm, and if somebody want to take me down, then I would do my best to fight in this situation.
What about now? Do you feel remorseful?
So like you said, like,
Do you feel bad about it, remorseful that you did it, or you feel
I don't
relieved?
feel like,
You feel relieved that you did it?
I feel better.
Feel better?
Yeah, but I'm not a cold person, that's why I sound crazy to understand that, I'm being honest.
So you feel like the way the
I
world
feel like
is.
she's drugged to people. And she kept calling her that she had, and she.
Have you ever seen it down there? Did she ever pull it out and point it at anybody or say, hey, come here and check out my piece, or, piece me? No. It's just what we thought in her head at the time, right? Because the way that she talks, like, she's gangster. You know what I'm saying? I'm blood on this, and blood meaning gang color, right? What color is the handle? Do you know where that's out? So you left it behind the store? Did you, after the shop was fired, what did you do? Besides, raising the hand? Did you?
No, I had up and I heard it hit the rack and then up and then I kind of caught on the floor and I ran out to the other side of the door. And then I went and I ran to the shop.
Hello?
And then the guy had walked out with the light, wearing the yellow shirt on, it's like a neon shirt.
What kind of truck do you have?
It's a 1500 Colorado, 2021.
So truck?
But it's Wayne's truck, Wayne Fisher, like we share the truck, like we're trying, he's 50, we just turned 51. Because basically we were living together.
Is that on, is that on?
Yeah, we were gonna go together because, it was like a lot of things to take care of. So we stopped, working with our papa, but he's like, they fired him, because somebody had to do.
stopped just now at 1908. And detective, to the best of your ability, that was that encapsulated the defendant's explanation of what had happened that morning.
That's correct.
After the interview, what happened right after that?
I let her make a phone call, let her family know where she was, and let her inside.
One moment. Can we approach sidebar just briefly?
Certainly.
Yeah, this way.
So I don't know if you even want to take an opportunity. Somebody or
There was some of it that was garbled, but for the most part, I picked up. But I'm gonna take some time when it's concluded to review, so.
Okay.
Do you have it on the phone?
Yeah.
Okay. But, no, if we get done,
Where's that?
no, I want to get this done today if we can. If I need time, I'll let you know.
You know, I was just asking, sorry.
No problem.
Thanks, Jack. Just 1 second, Richard. I have no further questions of this witness. Thank you.
Cross-examination. Any?
Just one moment, Judge.
So just so you guys know, anyone coming in, this is the preliminary hearing. And the preliminary hearing takes it from the district court to the circuit court. So they already established probable cause. Then they have the preliminary exam. After the preliminary exam, it goes to the circuit in Michigan. So she is in Macomb County. She's in Eastpointe. So right now she's at an Eastpointe courthouse. And then she's going to end up at the Macomb County with a Macomb County judge. So that's where the case will be tried if it's bound over, and it ends up getting bound over. There's no way that there was not enough evidence. There's eyewitnesses. There's people who were passerbys. So there's eyewitnesses. There's other witnesses. There is a ton of video evidence. Also, there is the interview where she basically confessed to the crime. And we know she's already had a psychological evaluation. So even though she is, you know, by all accounts, seems a little off, she is stable enough to be able to assist in her defense. She knows what's going on. She's coherent. Everybody is not at 100 to operate out here. Everybody doesn't have to be. And ma'am is clearly not on 100. She is, you know, ma'am was barely hanging on, clearly, because she was very stressed out in that job. And I get it, because I'm sure fast food is not easy. And it's a very high stress environment, fast paced. But at the end of the day, you know, it sounds like Jennifer was just doing her job. She may not have been perfect, but she didn't deserve to be stabbed up in her place of work like that. So, all right, let's keep going.
No, I have no further question. I have no questions, Judge.
Very good, you may be excused. Any further witnesses on behalf of the people?
No, Judge.
Any witnesses on behalf of the defense?
None, Your Honor.
Very good, you want to take a few minutes for argument, or are you ready?
I'm ready.
I can do
Okay, argument, please.
Thanks, Judge. Judge, today you've heard from 6 witnesses, but effectively 7 because of the interrogation. So you heard from Devontae Pace, Officer McLaughlin, Luke Moreno, Deborah McMillan, Lieutenant Hollish, and of course the interrogation brings in the statements of the defendant and her explanation of the things that
Shauna
went on.
Turnage?
Sorry, Kashana Turnage, then Lieutenant Hollish is 6, and then the defendant's statements through the interrogation that is her explanation of what happened and why she murdered Jennifer Harris. One of the interesting things is that we all understand now through what the witness testimony was from Ms. McMillan is that the defendant was irate that when she came to work, Jennifer Harris confronted her about not working and clocked her out. The defendant sat there for about an hour, intermittently working, and then discovering that she had indeed been clocked out, and then was told by Ms. Harris to leave. And she did. She left. She went to a skate park. She told Lieutenant Hollish that while she was there, she skated. I believe she said she prayed. And she thought about everything that happened and then everything that Jennifer Harris was doing wrong. And despite having that time to contemplate on everything, she went back in about an hour's time. And when she went back, she had a mask. She brought a knife that she said she bought from Walmart. And she walked through the back entrance where Mr. Moreno said that he looked over and saw the defendant walking up, masked. And she said very calmly, and he said she walked calmly, "Don't worry, I work here." She proceeds to walk through. And as Miss Harris is working, prepping the food, she sets upon her and begins to stab her. There was no argument. There was no talking. And as we saw from that video, the defendant stabbed Jennifer Harris around 13 times all over her body, but specifically in vital areas. She stabbed her in the neck, the chest, the scalp, and there are 23 individual sharp wounds that the medical examiner's office identified, some of which being 4 inches deep through her neck. All of those were aimed at areas where even one strike could kill a person. And when she was interviewed, she admitted that when she went in there to confront her, to kill her, that she intended to kill Jennifer Harris. And when she did this, it wasn't in a manic state. It wasn't some emotional outburst. She came in calmly to do all these things. She was prepared. So as far as what you've heard and what I've got to prove today with count 1 and count 2 is with premeditated murder, the law says that premeditation and deliberation may be inferred from the circumstances surrounding the killing. And there is 2 cases, Tilly 405, Mish 38 at 44, a 1979 case, and Jolly 442, Mish 458 at 466, and that's a 1993 case. So the premeditation and deliberation.
Sorry, 442, Mish.
458 at 466. That's a 1993 case.
Thank you.
As far as what we had without her, any of her statements, we still have her leaving, going to another location, and then coming back prepared. She has a mask. She's got a hidden knife, and she enters through a back entrance. And then immediately, when she is near Jennifer Harris, she begins to stab her. The reason that you know that she intended to commit murder and kill her that day is when you're watching the video, there's a time when Jennifer Harris collapses and she's on the ground, and the defendant doesn't stop. She's prepared to stab her while she's on the ground, and the only thing that stopped her is, thankfully, Devontae Pace pulled out his .45 and shot at her. And on the video, the minute that shot gets off and you can see the gun through the window, she throws the knife and tears through the exit. So it's clear that even though Jennifer Harris had collapsed on her back, bleeding, that the defendant intended to finish the job on the ground. But now we know from her own statements that that's what she always intended to do, and that she's prepared to do it. One moment. So as far as her state of mind and what her motive is, even though I don't have to prove motive, we know what those things are, and we know why she did what she did and that she intended to do it. As far as count 2, dangerous weapon carrying with unlawful intent, we heard from Ms. McMillan that the knife that she saw the defendant using was somewhere between 5 and 7 inches in length. Additionally, we know that she brought that knife there with a specific intent to stab and kill Jennifer Harris, because that's what she told police. And she explained using Detective May as a prop is that where she was stabbing was intentionally in the neck area and the upper chest. So based on everything you've seen today and what you've heard and the defendant's own explanation, I just ask that you bind over counts 1 and counts 2.
Thank you. Mr. Jones?
Judge, obviously the people are objecting to bind over. One, I guess I want to.
Any defense is objecting to bind over?
What did I say?
You said people are.
Oh,
objecting
yeah.
to bind over.
Offenses, I'm sorry. And where I was going really, Your Honor, is
What is wrong with Josh? Josh, I don't know. Look, he said obviously the people are objecting. You're not the people, sir. You are the defendant. So the judge corrected him immediately. He's like, oh, okay, oh, yeah. Like, girl, Afeni, I hate to tell you, boo, but you may as well go ahead and take this L and go ahead and sign a plea paperwork, because, baby, you have a similar case in Virginia that was a deferred prosecution that now they're waiting to prosecute you on attempted murder in Virginia, because you had to stay 4 years out of trouble and you did not. So even if Michigan, even if some strange thing happened in Michigan, she has some nice charges waiting for her in Virginia, okay? Because she tried to kill her boyfriend in 2022 and got a deferred prosecution, probation, and they let her go, and then she killed someone's mother with 5 kids out here by themselves. And your lawyer is a mess.
Of offenses.
Any defense is objecting to bind
Obviously the people are objecting to bind over. One, I guess I want to.
Any defense is objecting to bind over?
What did I say?
You said people are.
Oh,
objecting
yeah.
to bind over.
Offenses, I'm sorry. And where I was going really, Your Honor, is where the insinuation of, in her statements of, and how the people are identifying this insinuation that she bought the knife for this. And I hope it's clear to the court that based on her own statement, which the court, I believe, is relying, I know the people are relying on her own statement in part to satisfy the bind over, that she indicated that she bought it previously for something different. Now, I'm not saying that there can't be an insinuation from that, but I don't want the court, nor do I want the facts to be insinuated that it was bought for this purpose or this incident. Because I don't think that, one, the facts reveal that at all. And even in her own statements, she doesn't make that as a fact of itself. And so that, I just want to clarify that. And I know that the people have introduced the interview. So if the court, again, if there's a hang up, the court can listen to that and make that determination. But again, I'm just going off of her explanation of why she had what she had at the time. Beyond that, I think it's clear as well from the testimony from the other witnesses that what we're talking about is it's a hooded mask. And again, I'm just identifying some, I don't want to say clarifying some things on what we heard in facts, because it was very clear that it was some sort of zip up hood that went over the face. It's not a separate mask that was, bought for this purpose. It was a tire, meaning, someone owning a hoodie and then that zips it up. I don't think it changes the fact that it zips up into a mask, but again, I think that those are facts that at least need to be clarified when we're talking about the bind over, specifically because we're talking about the difference between, at least for today's purposes, first and second degree. And there's that identification of premeditation or preparation to get you to first degree. So that's the reason I wanted to clarify those two facts, Your Honor. Otherwise, generally speaking, for count one, I would indicate that they generally have not met their burden on their elements, Your Honor, to show that there is a difference between first and second. In regards to count two, as I'm sitting here listening to Mr. Pallett wrap up his request for a bind over, I know we've had discussion that there was a knife used. There's been discussion that there was the potential of this knife that was identified at the scene, but there was not really any specifics. And I think that Ms. McMillan was identifying the knife that she saw. She wasn't referencing the difference between the length of the actual knife and the blade. And I say, legally speaking, there is a difference between that. And I don't know if the people have really necessarily shown that even at a probable cause level. And the reason I say that, Your Honor, is because the blade length must be over 3 inches. And the only thing we necessarily had from Ms. McMillan is that it may be between 5 and 6, and she's just referencing the size of the knife. We don't have anything specific to the blade, which is really what the requirement is for count two. We have no officer that identified that they collected it. We have an officer that says, well, they should have collected it, or they did collect it, but he couldn't testify beyond that. He didn't testify who collected it, whether or not they had the knife, or even presented a photo of this being the knife in some sort of reference to what length we're dealing with. And so with count two, I think that they're lacking on that. I think we have some testimony there, but we don't have the specifics that we need, even at a probable cause standard, to identify that for that particular count. So in regards to my objection, Your Honor, again, I leave it to what I've already said about count one, and then with count two specifically, I think they lacked on that proof. So I would ask for a dismissal on both, but more technical, or more specifically on count two.
Thank you.
Amanda.
Okay.
And I guess maybe I didn't enunciate whenever I was speaking, as I said, she brought the knife. I didn't say she bought the knife. I know that she said she bought the knife at Walmart because she had bought a cake at the same time, or she planned to bake a cake. So I said brought, I didn't say bought. I know that, or I never wanted to have anybody believe that I thought she bought that specifically for killing Miss Harris.
I appreciate that.
Additionally, as far as the testimony that we did have for the knife itself and the length of the knife, we have a witness saying that she saw the knife and that it was between in excess of 5 inches. As well, if you just look at the video, you can see the knife is a large butcher knife, not some small knife that would be below 3 inches in length. And so I'm relying on the video itself and the testimony of the witness that we had on the scene.
I'm trying to figure out, did they not collect the knife from the scene in all of the commotion? Did the knife get thrown away? I cannot imagine that when they isolated the crime scene, that this prosecutor has not had the time to go over to evidence to go and eyeball the knife and get some very specific measurements of the knife, pictures, all of the things. I find that really hard to believe. And that anybody at the McDonald's would have thrown it away, or did she pick it up and run out and take it with her? But she was subdued by the guy from the window. So the way she got, so like they mentioned, there was someone getting their breakfast. He saw what was going on. He pulled his concealed carry out and he shot at Afeni, or he shot a warning shot, and it stopped the fight. She dropped the knife, so they say, and ran out of the McDonald's. The gentleman tackled her down to the ground and held her at gunpoint until the police showed up. Okay. So I just find it hard to believe that anybody would have touched that knife or got rid, you know what I mean? They have to have it. I'm just curious why the prosecutor is not able to give more information about it. To say, yes, we have the knife. The knife is a this, that, and the third, and it measures X, Y, and Z type of thing. That's odd.
In your honor, I have a flash drive for you. If the court would like to review any of these, I can provide it to your court officer to provide to you for your review.
Thank you. The court's going to take a recess to review my notes, and I will be back in due course with my ruling.
Just we have a time, Judge, like 15, 30 minutes.
Mr. Jones, I don't know how long it's going to take me to go through my notes and my thoughts and the video, but as soon as I'm done, I'll be
Okay.
back.
I guess he's in a rush.
Do you have the
Okay, so Judge Galen's going to take a break for a minute. I'm hoping that some of the other media that was there are going to. We've seen snippets in the news where you see some of the other people testifying, and after I'm going over to Kathy's for like about maybe an hour, hour and a half. I shared the link. If you guys don't know Kathy over at Gossip Rumor Innuendo, catch me over there. At 10 o'clock, I'm going to be chatting with Kathy. We're going to talk about Latasha Daniels. We're going to talk about Devin Michaels, and we're going to talk about Brene and Akira, the alienation of affection lawsuit that happened here in North Carolina. So join us over there for that. But yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about Afeni. But we might have a few minutes before I have to go. So Judge was off of her bench for a moment, and then she comes back, and then this is her decision. But yeah, if we have a few minutes, which I think we will, I want to go over to Instagram and just refresh your memory of Afeni's Instagram real quick and the posts with that hoodie. And maybe we can catch one of the news stories that had a couple of the witnesses who testified that we missed kind of the first half. So again, if you're just coming in, the first half of this hearing, they were showing the actual footage from the McDonald's when the stabbing occurred, and a family member of Jennifer Harris lost it, left, came back with a knife or some knives, and someone was arrested. And, you know, God bless. I'm sure the family is under a tremendous amount of stress and pain and hurt and anger, right? So hopefully they're getting the counseling and services that they need. And, you know, but you know, when I was talking to my husband, I said, you know what? If they arrested this person, that might be what they want. They might want to be inside and get a chance at Afeni on the yard, or in custody. So that, you know, you never know. Anywho, but yeah, that's what happened, and they cut the cameras. After they took a break, then they came back live with this, but we never got to see the full first part because of the commotion that happened initially. So I don't know, you know, obviously they took footage of it because it's on the news and you see the witnesses. But hopefully, like, click on Detroit. And so this is on Fox. Usually they post stuff, so hopefully we'll see. Yeah, I think she's insane by girl she crazy standards, but in terms of the medical physicians assessing her, she's fine. She's absolutely fine to stay, because, you know, we're not all 100%, right? Everyone is, you know, it's a spectrum out here, right? Ma'am might be left of center to be able to operate in a civilized world and feels like knives are the answer, but she is fit to stand trial. So yeah, something is definitely not 100% with ma'am, but she gonna be standing trial. They did her full evaluation and she's good. But yes, I agree. Something is not right. She's a little touched. All right, here comes Judge Galen, guys, with her decision. Looks like she took about 20-30 minutes. She took a little minute to make her decision. Let's see. She was out for she took a good 45 minutes.
Chris Bourbon on behalf of the people.
For the record, please.
Kumar Palapu for the People P74099.
Chris Bourbon on behalf of the people, PA1013.
Your Honor, Josh Jones on behalf of Ms. Mohammed, who stands to my right.
And Catherine O'Meara Bolden, P53823. On behalf of Ms. Mohammed.
Thank you. Thank you. You may be seated. The court has carefully considered the testimony of these 6 witnesses today, that being number 1, Devontae Pace, an eyewitness, witness number 2, Officer McLaughlin, witness number 3, Luke Marino, witness number 4, Deborah McMillan, manager at the McDonald's, witness number 5, Kashana Turnage, employee of the McDonald's, witness number 6, Detective Hollis, who took the statement of the defendant. At this stage, it's not for the court to determine guilt or innocence. This is a probable cause hearing, and the court must be satisfied that the prosecution has presented evidence by a probable cause standard as to both charges, count 1, first-degree premeditated murder, and count 2, carrying a dangerous weapon with unlawful intent. Probable cause is a very low evidentiary threshold under Michigan law. And viewing the evidence in the light most favorable to the prosecution, the court makes the following findings. Count 1, first-degree premeditated murder. The people presented testimony showing that the victim was found on the floor of the restaurant in a large pool of blood, suffering from what appeared to be multiple stab wounds. This clearly establishes that a homicide occurred by a criminal agency. The manager of the McDonald's, that being witness number 4, Deborah McMillan, testified that she heard a commotion, came around, found the victim on the floor bleeding. Regarding the intent and premeditation, the defendant stated in her own interview that she had left the location earlier. By her own testimony, she testified, or she stated to the police that she was told to leave and she didn't leave, and then became angry later because her boss had clocked her out. She indicated that she left, she went to the park, she prayed, and thought about how she had been wronged. She admitted that she possessed a long chef's knife. And when I talk about the chef's knife, Mr. Jones, you made argument that there was insufficient evidence with regard to the 3-inch or being 3 inches or more on the blade. The court did review the interview by the police of the defendant and the graphic scene once again, and the knife in there clearly is over 3 inches. And the testimony of Deborah McMillan that the blade was, as she put it, which looks like 6 inches. We don't know if that's the knife or not, but in the video of the stabbing, you can see the blade of the knife. The blade of the knife was rather large, and by defendant's own statements had indicated that it was a chef's knife. So that being said, she admitted that she possessed this knife. She admitted that she wanted her dead. I think her statement to the police was, I felt like I wanted her dead. I'm not a cold person. Another thing that was interesting, or not interesting, that's a poor choice of words, corroborates the testimony of witness number 5, Kashana Turnage. In the interview at the police station, while the demonstration of how the stabbing occurred, you can see the defendant's fingernails, and it was blue and white, as described by Kashana Turnage, I'm sorry. So the fact that she left, had time for cool reflection, and returned back to the location, and as witness number 3 testified, appeared to be casual and calm while she walked in. Her statement that she wanted her dead, and she knowingly carried out that plan, purposely arming herself with this knife, wearing a hoodie and a mask. As witness number 4 testified, appeared to be a Jason mask, and witness number 3 testified that it looked like a ski mask. Taken together, this evidence is more than sufficient for a person of ordinary prudence to reasonably believe that the defendant intentionally, with premeditation, killed the defendant by probable cause standard. The court therefore finds that the people have met their burden as to count 1. As to count 2, carrying a dangerous weapon with unlawful intent, testimony clearly established that the defendant possessed and carried a long chef knife. The defendant admitted that she brought the knife for the purpose of stabbing the victim, and she did in fact stab the victim with that weapon. The unlawful intent requirement is fully supported by her statements and the eyewitness testimony. Accordingly, the court finds probable cause exists that the defendant carried a dangerous weapon with intent to use it unlawfully against another person. So for the reasons stated on the record, the court does find that the prosecution has met their burden as to both counts. There is sufficient evidence as to each element of the offenses charged. I therefore am binding the defendant over to circuit court for further proceedings as charged. Do we know who the arraigning judge is in this matter?
Judge Mastroni, Judge.
That's correct.
Judge Mastroni, here's his arraignment on the information on Tuesdays at 9 a.m. for in custody.
It'll be December 2nd, Judge. I'm sorry.
We pick December 2nd. Be December 2nd at 9 a.m. Judge Mastroni, and I need you to fill out the rap sheet.
I'm doing that now, Judge.
And I want to thank both sides for your professionalism. And that concludes this matter for today.
All right. Who am I speaking to?
Thank you, Your Honor. We will provide the form as soon as it is completed.
Thank you.
Let's pivot really quick here. You guys remember this. This is the actual mask she used. That's it right there. And it's a hoodie. So you can see the zipper right here. And it zips down and it's just a regular. And there's a post, which I don't know where it is now, but it's in here. I'll have to find it. Next time we get together on this topic, we'll talk about it. And then this is the day before the actual murder. I think this was the day before where she was pissed. It's either a day or two before, where she's ranting because she had already been sent home a couple of times. When you work in an hour, not even just an hourly environment, but when you work in an hourly environment or just work, period, and you're in a situation where you're the first one cut all the time, you got to look at your performance. I mean, that's just what it is. When you're in a production environment hourly, nobody's paying you to stand around. Now, it might not feel good. It might be embarrassing. You might have bills to pay. You've got all of the above. At the end of the day, this person is lacking self-awareness, and she's posting on Instagram. She's busy worried about the wrong things. Her head is probably not in the game. She's weird. And she's mad because somebody is holding her accountable for that clock. And that's it. That's all. And Afeni is a young woman with no children. And clearly, she has her responsibilities. But it's very different when you are a woman over 30 with a family and kids. Your perspective is different. And if Jennifer is responsible for that shift line and she needs to make things happen, and you're pulling in and you want to be out in 90 seconds because you got to get to work, they got to get people fed and through those lines within a certain period of time, she's doing her job. And also, she had other options. She could have talked to the other manager. She could have talked to the owner. She could have quit the job. She had plenty of options other than stabbing that woman on both sides of her neck and in her chest with 13 stab wounds and 23 sharp wounds. So what is that? 36, 23 sharp wounds, and 13 significant stab wounds. That's ridiculous. That's an overkill.
Yeah, I broke my door in half and I had to pull my gun out on my kids since it's an ad. Well, you know, telling us that, like, the fuck you telling us you pulled a gun out on your kids for? You sound like a fucking psychopath.
I don't believe anything she says. I'm going to be honest. We already know
I got sent
something's
home
wrong
early.
with her, and this rant is not credible because she has an axe to grind with Jennifer, and she's of the mentality like we see a lot. Some people just need a reason. They just need a tipping point. They need that moment for them to justify, bitch, I want to kill you. You know what I'm saying? They need that little tipping point moment so they can justify acting a fool. And that's what happened to her. That's my opinion on that. Jennifer set her off for one. She probably made up in her mind the night before, if she sends me home one more time, I'm going to handle her. And that's what she did. So unfortunately for Jennifer, she didn't know that, you know, she didn't know that, because then they could have taken some other measures, and, you know, and maybe she wouldn't have lost her life. But, you know, she had no idea, because, you know, when you work with young people, or you work in a fast-paced production environment, you never know which one of your employees is going to be crazy. The least one you suspect is going to be the one that got your back. But no one is ever going to expect to have someone come for their neck, literally, right? No one's expecting that. Let me see. Is this the one that had the good? Just one second, because I want to see if this is the one that had. Okay, let's take a look at this one really fast.
Their top story today: chaos inside an Eastpointe courtroom as the suspect in July's deadly McDonald'S stabbing faced a judge. The victim's daughter tackled by police after leaving the courtroom and allegedly returning with a knife. But the hearing continued, with prosecutors revealing how and why Afeni Muhammad allegedly stabbed her manager to death. 7 News Detroit reporter Ruta Alsonaida inside the courtroom. She's showing us what happened today and what comes next.
It was a dramatic day here at District Court in Eastpointe as prosecutors played the surveillance video of what they say is Afeni Muhammad killing Jennifer Harris. It's that video that set off a chain reaction and left Jennifer Harris's 17-year-old daughter behind bars. This right here is video of the chaotic aftermath of the 17-year-old daughter of Jennifer Jama Harris, who was tackled and arrested by police in the lobby of 38th District Court. Eastpointe police say she brought a knife into the courthouse after seeing the disturbing surveillance video of her mother's murder in court. Harris's family was then barred from returning to the courtroom for the rest of Friday's hearing. Prosecutors releasing new video on what they say is 26-year-old Afeni Muhammad, her face covered with some sort of mask, a large knife hidden under her arm, walking into the back of the Eastpointe McDonald's on July 10th.
Where you see that? That's the mask from Instagram. Hold on. Girl, she posted that on July 9th.
She and her manager, Jennifer Harris, worked. Prosecutors say Muhammad was sent home earlier that day by Harris for slacking off. She later returned, allegedly stabbing Harris at least 13 times.
Even though Jennifer Harris had collapsed on her back, bleeding, that the defendant intended to finish the job on the ground.
You can see in this interrogation video where Muhammad shows investigators exactly how she stabbed the victim, saying she felt no remorse because Harris constantly, quote, bullied her at work.
I feel better.
Prosecutors say the only reason the attack stopped is
Girl, that's gonna send her for life. I feel better.
because Good Samaritan Devontae Pace,
So
was
this
in
is
the
That's the man that was in the booth. That was the man that was at the window who saw what was going on and shot his gun, Devontae Pace.
Drive through and saw everything, fired a warning shot towards the attacker.
I guess it would be a warning shot because she didn't get hit, but it definitely was towards her. And I didn't mind shooting her, so I was shooting at her.
Judge Kathleen Galen finding enough probable cause to order Muhammad to stand trial, so she will be back in court December 2nd. As for Harris's daughter, who is accused of bringing that knife to court, prosecutors are considering charges for her actions in court. In Eastpointe, I'm Rudolph Sinaida, 7 News Detroit.
A hearing over the murder of a McDonald's employee in Eastpointe erupted into chaos today when one of the victim's relatives allegedly tried to bring a knife into the courtroom.
It all started when a security video was played in court the day that Jennifer Harris was attacked. CBS News Detroit's Alicia
Yeah,
Burge.
I'm going to be honest with you. I hope that the prosecutor puts her in some sort of, diversion, someone to talk to and puts them with a good victim advocate and doesn't file charges because she's 17 and she needs a hug. Her mother was brutally murdered, and that might be the one that was working at McDonald's part-time. I mean, you saw the kids in the front row. Those kids have bags under their eyes. They're tired. They probably go to sleep crying. I cannot imagine losing my mother as a young girl. It was hard enough losing my mother in my 40s, right? I cannot imagine the pain and suffering of losing your mom that early. And I know people go through that every single day. And I hope that they're not going to, judge her reaction harshly. Hopefully they will get her some counseling and so she can make better decisions, because you don't want to use the same type of reasoning that Afeni used. Afeni is off her fucking rocker and she doesn't have a future. Her future is dim. Jennifer's kids have a future, and hopefully they will provide them with the services that they need, because these people are victims. They really need some help. These girls, and I think she has one son, so maybe it was like 4 girls and 1 boy. They need a hug, and they need some counseling, and they need a lot of support.
Was there as emotions boiled over.
That's how court started. An intense day in court overall as Afeni Muhammad sat before a judge. She's accused of brutally stabbing and killing her manager, Jennifer Harris, at a McDonald's in Eastpointe back in July. Today, 6 witnesses took the stand. Video of the incident was shown. And as you mentioned, emotions from the victim's family ran high.
Did you want to kill her?
Chilling video of suspect Afeni Muhammad in custody admitting the desire of wanting to murder her manager, Jennifer Harris, the morning of July 10th. On Friday, 6 witnesses took the stand, 2 claiming an interaction took place between Muhammad and Harris that morning when the defendant was sent home from work for allegedly not doing her job.
She seemed very irritated, and she started off by saying, "So you clocked me out without telling me." And she kind of repeated it. She repeated it twice. And after she repeated it, Jennifer said something. And after that, that's when she said, you reap what you sow. I'll be back. You better watch your back.
In this video, you see Muhammad return back to McDonald's, walk past a delivery truck, her face covered by some sort of mask, a knife under her arm. She walks through the back entrance, approaches Harris, and stabs her 23 times. A customer in the drive-thru saw it happen and pulled out his gun to intervene.
Saying something like, stop, 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 hold on, stop. I produced my firearm off my hip. I pointed it at her. I did take a shot at her. She froze up a little bit, which stopped the attack. And then I guess she maybe something clicked, told her to run or something like that.
Body camera video shows Muhammad on the ground in the parking lot, her clothing covered in blood. One witness describes her last moments with Harris after the stabbing.
When I got up there, the only thing I could see and notice was Jen laying on the floor in a big pool of blood asking for help. Her last words to me was, "Dad, please don't let me die."
As far as what's next, the case has been bound over to circuit court. Muhammad due back in court December 2nd. As far as the daughter that was arrested this morning, police say she's still in custody but will be released. In Eastpointe, Alicia Bergio, CBS News, Detroit.
They're probably going to give her some counseling. I'm sure she's got victims advocate on their side, and they're probably going to get them some services. I mean, that's just, yeah, that's my hope, because this could go, you hear of this happening, family members looking for retribution, and then she just needs to get her head back on straight and do her, doing her mom proud is not coming for Afeni's neck. Doing her mom proud is going to be living the opposite and doing what her mom did and better. So, um, yeah, hopefully they need some additional support, and they need to probably, if there is dialogue around, well, I'm gonna get that bitch and she's gonna get it one day, and they need to really divert the dialogue around Afeni, and just, because that is scary. Because if the police would have felt like anybody else would have been in danger, that could have gone drastic. That could have just been, it could have been another tragedy. So anyway, this is what happened yesterday, guys. And yeah, so if I see any more footage from the earlier part, I'm gonna broadcast it with you guys, because it was a very interesting hearing, just the part that we saw. Anyway, I'm going over to Kathy's over at Gossip Rumor Innuendo. Guys, join me over there. Check out my community wall and come on over. And check us out in a few minutes. We're going to be having some coffee talk. I will be back later. I know PCFP dropped off a long video last night, and I didn't even make it all the way through. I think I watched about the first 45 minutes. So we might get into that early this afternoon. So I'll see you guys. Next time I see you guys over here, we'll be getting caught up on that jail call that they released yesterday. And then there's still a couple others that we need to do. Or maybe I don't know. There's some stuff we need to get caught up on. So maybe we'll finish. Oh yeah, that was the sequence about Nesto finding out that he wasn't getting that his bond request had been denied. That's what that was yesterday. I don't know how he thought he was getting out. And the whole thing about Lamont, somebody's sister was dating the judge's son, some weird stuff. I don't know. If I didn't know that Sonia could back up a receipt for that, or that was actually legit, I would almost feel like she was lying. Sonia lies a lot, and that story didn't seem believable, but maybe, who knows. Anyway, guys, let me let you guys go. I will see you guys over at Gossip Rumor Innuendo in just a few minutes. You guys take care. Have a wonderful Saturday. Make sure if you're on the replay, I know this was early, but I wanted to get this in early. I will see you guys, I don't know, maybe around 12 or 1, around 12 or 1-ish, for some Nesto. Okay. You guys have a wonderful day. Make sure to thumbs this up for me and share it out. I appreciate it. Take care, guys. Have a wonderful day. Bye.